What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. It's been a little while between videos. I do apologize. We've been so busy and we've been waiting for parts and waiting for paint and trying to organize everything. But yeah, we've been really busy with work. So the 34 has taken the back seat a little bit. We're going to jump into some stuff today. We've got some stuff piled up on the table over here. We've got a heap of goodies still sitting here from last time. Plus a few extra little bits and pieces as well, which we're going to do. And we do have something else really cool that we want to try and chuck on the car today as well. We've got a Nismo backing plate for the triple gauges. So we've got a Nismo backing plate, as I said, for these triple gauges. It has a Nismo logo in there, which is period correct for the 34, and the little numbers and stuff on there are all yellow as well. I really want to get one for that main dash cluster, but I'll keep an eye out for that and see how we go. What else we got? We've got the aircon pollen filter. So I've read some horror stories about the aircon filters in the car. So when you turn the heater or aircon on, the air comes in either through the front or it comes in, recirculates through the car. And there is a double filter there, which apparently gets blocked up with absolute crap. So pretty keen to throw another one of them in. I'll go through that part number and the process of doing that as well. And then obviously those triple gauges. All right, we got little helper Ollie. He's gonna try and chuck this filter in for us. So this is our filter. We got this from EFI Solutions online. I think it was a little bit difficult to find. So trying to find the exact part number. And from what I could tell, the R34 GDR and GTT and GTS are all the same. So turbo, non-turbo and GDR. All the same part number. I'll put the part number down here below. The only difference between this and one other variant was that there is like an active filter, I believe, that was like a factory option. So it had like I don't know if it's a heating element or some sort of extra fan or something like that. I don't know. You'll see it if you pull your dash apart, like I'm about to show you, or Ollie's about to show you. You'll see all the wires coming out of it. It'll be noticeably different. So this is our pitwork OEM. That's factory Nissan. This is what they use from the factory. Part number is there, just in case you didn't see it on screen before, AY684-NS002. And it is a double filter. They are stacked on top of each other, and there's a little bit of extra something around the edge as well to fill in the gaps. So these are our filters. Got some instructions on here as well. If you can read any of that, I'm probably going to have Google Translate on there and try and see if I can figure out what all this says. It's got our year models. Oh, so Y33, FGY33, R34, A33, C35. Something I note about GDR V-Spec N1 as well. That probably has an active filter maybe. Some basic instructions. Disconnect the battery. We're not doing anything crazy like that. So let's get stuck into it. I've given Ollie a little rundown of basically what we need to do. Oh, it's even got a little sticker. Tells you when you've changed the filters as well. Let's go in the car and we'll get Ollie to start pulling that apart, I reckon. All right, dude. Ready to go. So pair of pins underneath the bottom of the glove box. Just push them into the center of the glove box. Yep. And then the other one as well. Wiggle. All right, so you want to pull that out. Yep. Perfect. Oh, what? We got some ancient mail from the old owner. It's an old origin bill. Okay. All right, so you got those little tabs out. Yep. Can you chuck me a tab and I'll just show them what that looks like? So these are the little, if that wants to focus, doesn't want to focus, there we go. Little locator tabs, they just pop in and they've got that little squashy pin on that side. So they rotate and pull out and then push back in and rotate and lock in. So that's those ones. And then we can open that up. Yep, and that should sort of fold itself out. There's this little pin here, which I think just pops off. Yep, so that just holds it back. You can chuck that outside nice and carefully. So now we're left with this, which we want to, if I can just get rid of that glare. So there's some screws here. There's 1, 2, 3 and 4 screws. We'll pop them out and get that plate off. Someone has definitely cross-threaded that in there. So what I'm keen to see is, it's pretty common for these filters to have never been changed in their whole life. Put that down there. Pops off.
It's already really dusty.
It's already really dusty, it is, hey. Get that light out. And our filter box is this one here. So there's a little pin here. We just want to pull that off. Just like this. There we go. And then I think this slides up. Yeah. There we go. Oh, it's not looking good, man. All right, we'll leave that cover there, the footrest there, because I reckon it's gonna be full. Bro. Yo. That's disgusting, man. I'm so glad we did that.
That's gross.
So there's probably a good chance these have never been changed. Look at all that crap in there, man. Wow. What the hell? If you were like hyperallergenic, like if you got allergies to stuff real easy, dude, there's so much stuff in there. I'm gonna get the vacuum cleaner and vacuum that out, but we'll pull these out and have a look at these filters outside. Dude, look at them. That is, oh, dude, look at the, is that like mold or something?
How do you even get that?
That's gross. So this is what they're meant to look like, and these are in plastic housing. So we'll pop them in a sec. Let's bang these out.
RIP if you have allergies.
That is crazy, man. I never thought that'd be. I figured they'd be bad, but I didn't think they'd be that bad.
It's actually so gross.
There is like a smell in the car that smells like the Skyline.
Yeah.
But it's hard to know that it was that bad, man.
Can't be gross.
So these housings aren't in the best condition, but they should be right. It's like a, seems like a charcoal filter or something. Yeah, it's like black. But I'll leave that in there. And we'll chuck these freshies in there. We're also going to mark that and put that in the glove box so we know when we've changed it as well.
Actually, so gross.
But that's insane, man. I never thought that would be that bad. So disgusting.
Live for breathing that is.
I know, that's, look in between though, like every single pocket.
That's gross. I wouldn't be touching that.
No. All right, let's chuck some new filters in there and get them back in the car. Cool, so we've got our, I'm gonna leave those charcoal filters in there. I think they're meant to be good. The housings are a bit average, but there is part numbers on the housings. If you can see that, 534530-1102. So I'll put that down the bottom of the screen. And I think both these housings are the same. 301102, yeah, both these housings have the same part number if you need to get them as well. I might even look up and I'll put a price down below of how much these are. Okay, let's get these new filters in. So these filters are physically a little bit smaller than what they need to be. They sort of sit in there and they're a bit fluffy. So there is this foam outer lining that goes around the filters. You just need to make sure that you've got the filters in the right way. So there's an arrow on it that says air, and that just, with it sitting on the right way up, it just goes in straight like that. So it like goes like that way. So we'll keep that, make sure that's facing the right way. And then we'll stick this foam stuff around. If I can get that off. And I'm going to just carefully sit that on top. All the way down. My hands are filthy from that other filter. I still can't believe we're breathing that crap in. That's horrible. It's not good, is it, man?
Yeah. Maybe that's what that smell was.
It could be. Hey, it could be. Once you're done, it should look something like that. Looks pretty mint. And then we want to try and carefully sit that into here. Without it ripping off. Can you hold the camera, man? Way more snug in here now. filter housing. Needs to I think that'll just squash down over time and fill in that space a lot nicer. Try and push that out. Yeah, it does need to squash. Oh yeah, once it pulls out, it sort of fills out a lot better. All right, that's all that done. They're ready to go back in. So we'll give that little spacer vacuum out, and then we can chuck these in. All cleaned up, these filters, so there's a ton of crap still left in there. There's like a little like a radiator in there, which is, if you have a leak inside, that's where it's going to leak from. We've got our filters all done. They're all labeled up. I don't think one is different to the other. They both look exactly the same. So we can try and pop these back in. We might need to put that one in first. There we go. Minto. So they're sitting nice and flush in there. So there's a little hook on top that this front plate sits over. And something like, it's definitely a little bit more puffy with those new filters in there. There we go. And then that little pin just sits on top. Like so. All sealed up, good to go. Now we can start chucking everything back together and we're pretty much done. So next we want to chuck this back in. Had a little spring loaded thing on this side which just clicks in. And these things go in. Lock it on there, and then those pins that we did right at the start. Alright, so that is all done and dusted. Back together, easy as. Let's see if this has made any difference. Hopefully, I assume it's going to blow a hell of a lot more. So first click, and then these should come back on. We'll just mute that. Let's hop in. Then we want to go on auto. I need to go one more click on. Quick, one more click. Yep. Let's see if we've got. And then we want to go mode. Oh wow, dude. Like it never blew like that before. Yo, we never had that much airflow. And like I can feel that back in the back of the car now. So that makes heaps of sense why that wasn't blowing hardly anything before. So yeah, those filters were 100% blocked up. The sun's starting to come through the front windscreen, but that's 1,000 times better. Cool. We're making progress, man, bit by bit. All right, next on our little goodies list, we've got this little triple gauge cluster. It is a Nismo triple gauge cluster. Let's get it out of the box and I'll show you exactly what it looks like. So as you might know, some of the factory options in these R34s were pretty bloody cool. We've got Nismo, aftermarket Nismo full dash clusters and the triple gauges. So the triple gauges, from the best of my knowledge, were only in the earlier Series 1 R34s, so the turbos, so the GTT. I think they were also, no, they wouldn't have been in the GT non-turbos because there's a boost gauge in there. So just the Series 1 R34 GTTs, 4-door and 2-door. And in the Series 2s, they went to the different shape front bumper, and they have like a flat panel here. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So these gauges here, we've got triple gauges, we've got boost, we've got oil temp, and then we've got battery voltage, and then we've got our normal matching dash cluster. So the optional dash triple gauge Nismo version. So we've got this killer looking thing here. So a couple of key differences, obviously. It's got the Nismo logo, which is see-through. It does light up and shine through that because there are lights in the background, which we have a light, one of the globes is out in the middle one, so we're going to switch them over to like a yellowish LED in them. So we're going to fix two problems at once. And then obviously the other thing that is the main difference as well is they are yellow, and you can see they are white. So I do plan on, hopefully if everything goes to plan, getting a Nismo cluster eventually down the track, which will match this and probably look a lot nicer. But for now, I think those triple gauges are going to look bloody awesome in there. I was curious. So it does look like the oil temps. So yeah, the design is a little bit different. We've got oil temp written in the middle one, and we've got a picture of the oil can. We've got volts written, and then we've got a little picture of the volts. Volt range is 8 to 18. So the oil temp is a little bit different. We've got 60 to 140. So it's actually, what, 20 degrees less. That's interesting, but it's got another, so it's got all the numbers written there, whereas this has just got the increments. Boost is a lot different. So 0 is right down the bottom. And then obviously boost doesn't matter too much because we got our little Grady gauge there. We can get these loaded up. The quality of this, so this is exactly the same material. It's like plastic, and the light does shine through. It is see-through. I'm not sure if you can see, if I can get that to focus in the middle there under the Nismo logo. Can actually see through it. All right, so let's get this in and installed. We're going to pop this center aircon vent out. That just pulls straight out, and then there's a couple of screws where that lid comes up. We'll get those gauges out, give these plastic covers a good clean while they're out as well, I reckon. Pulls out nice and easily. We've got our hazard switch, which you could probably just leave there. And then I think, as far as I'm aware, this just pops up. Try and keep that all together. Pops out like that. Got a little switch on the back. That is out easy enough, and then we've got 2 screws just on the side, and that's the little unit all popped out. We're going to pull that front plastic off and give that a good clean. It's probably a pretty good opportunity to clean all around these little edges which you can't normally get to. And then this is the back of the tray. So if you're looking for the triple gauge top lid, if I can get this to focus again, looks like it is 68410 AA010 or K10135. So genuine Nissan parts. Pretty simple if you're looking at putting aftermarket gauges in there. That attach in pretty easily. They press up, and then you've got those 2 screw holes to mount your gauges to. So if you want to put aftermarket ones in there, it'd be easy enough. Got some screws on the back there, one on the other side, and then we should be able to get inside of it and pull that off. So this backing plate, I've given everything a bit of a clean and a wipe down as well. This backing plate was held in by 5 screws, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Obviously be super careful because you don't want to break any of these solders. Then that pulls out. We've got our little gauges all set up on there. So what we're going to do is we're going to be very, very, very careful with these needles so that we don't spin them or anything like that. Pull them straight up and straight back down once we got this all screwed in. You can see there's little tiny screws on each one. So 1 screw, 2 screw, 3 screw. You'll need a pretty small screwdriver. Get that sorted out and we'll get that on there. Getting these little needles off is an absolutely painful, tedious little thing to do. But all I could figure out was getting a nail under one side and the screwdriver under the other, and really carefully popping it off once they're zeroed, and being mindful that when you do sit that back on, it's going to be lightly sitting on that needle stop here as well. Cool, let's pull these little screws off real quick. Lightly stuck onto the back here, there we go. So we sit that back how it goes as well, so we don't lose it. I don't know if you can see, but they're just little pinch ones. We're just going to carefully squeeze those and push. There we go. So we start on this side. I'm going to give this a quick wipe down as well. See if we can get this all lined up again. Fill them up loosely. sure everything's lined up. One more. All right, we are getting there. Nismo gauges installed. Chuck these little needles back on. Very carefully, just letting it rest on 0. Perfect. Without hurting it too much. Sitting on 0 nicely, and then these caps go back on. Clip in easy enough like that. And the last cap. Cool. Looking pretty good. It's looking pretty sick with the Nismo at the top.
Yeah.
We're going to chuck that back in the housing, and then we'll get ready to put that in the car. We'll see you back in the car. Like I said before, I'm going to take that opportunity while that's out to give all these little edges that you can't normally get to a really good clean. Because no matter how much you wipe through those edges, you never get to everything. They're all screwed back in, just the 2 screws on the outer edge. Plug for the gauges. Dude, that looks so much nicer.
Yeah.
Sucks about the marks of the plastic though. I reckon I'm going to definitely do the new plastic cover. We'll go in and have a look, see if we can find one once we're done.
I really like the old nostalgic look that
Yeah.
it
It looks,
gives.
yeah, it does. It just fits with the era of the car, doesn't it? Pop back in. Gauges are in. Look at that. And then, where are my keys? The lights on. Ooh, no.
That middle one looks really nice.
The lights on, yeah, the middle one looks mint. So I need to get new globes for the outers, which I'll order as soon as I get inside. So I do need to pull them. I thought 2 of these worked and 1 of them didn't, but it turns out that 2 of them don't work. But that's going to look sick once that's all lit up.
Yeah.
I really want to go get globes right now. I might grab them from Super Cheap tomorrow, actually. That looks cool. I reckon that fits with the era of the car perfectly.
Yeah.
It's going to look so good if we get a Nismo, proper Nismo dash cluster as well, with that matching orange.
Yes.
Yeah. Easy, man. All right. That's all done and dusted. That looks so good. I'm really happy with how that turned out. That orange look on the gauges is just fits with the car perfectly. I think Ollie's pretty chuffed too.
Yeah.
Looks good, man. I reckon we've only got one more thing to do. We're going to chuck a air recirculation valve hose on the engine. One that we had ordered from Japan. It took ages. Took like a month to come in, a month and a half. So we'll chuck that on. Eventually we want to do a tune on the car, but we don't want to do a tune until we've got everything sorted mechanically. So we've got a fuel pump to fit. We've got a this air recirculation hose as well. We've got the bleeder valve on, so we're pretty much ready to go for a tune. We're not far off now. So we'll get this hose back on because the one on there has a little bit of a split, and I'll show you what I mean. All right, under the engine bay, this is the pipe right here. So I don't know if you can see, we've got that taped up. It's like really like plastic. It's hard and brittle, gets a lot of heat soak, but we've wrapped it in plastic, trying to keep that split. It's got a split all the way down to the bottom. So this one's all mint. It's just still rubbery. It's just that one down there, which is going to be a bit of a pain to change up. See the orientation of that back there? I'm pretty sure that sits sort of, yeah, a bit like that. We'll see if we can get that out. Yeah. Zoom out a little bit. My thinking for getting this right, obviously before getting the dyno tune, is that if there was, so this can get pressure from the crossover pipe, goes in that pipe, where are we, goes in that pipe around the back to the coil cover, little joiner, and then down to the idle air control valve. This is where the idle air control valve gets its air from, but that split is not ideal. There's a good chance that it probably wasn't leaking from there, but it does go above the clamp as well. So hopefully this one looks exactly the same. We'll get these clamps off and this protective cover, and we'll get this new one on. That is the part number for anyone wondering. Can pause that. It's a little bit tricky to find, but again, amazing with all the info on there. So we'll try and keep these hose clamps in the same orientation that they are, because that's obviously how they fit on the car nicely. Like that. And then this one like that. And if this engine doesn't leak, doesn't have any boost leaks or anything like that, nice and tight, everything's blocked up and covered up and no leaks, you know, from these little outlets or anything like that, which I've got with, if you go back a couple of episodes, Ollie and I did every single new hose here, or everything under here, everything in new silicone. So there should be absolutely no leaks. So this one already come with the protective cover as well, which is convenient. It's actually, I reckon it's sort of glued on. This one already came with the cover, protective cover. It's kind of glued on there as well. Let's chuck this on. Cool. Hose clamp is all on. That was a little bit trickier than I wanted it to be. Last thing on the list for today is these little radiator mounts. So part number 21506-01UOO. And they just go on here, so you can see that that is absolutely flogged out. Same with that one's all crusty. These are all nice and loose. Should be pretty straightforward to change. It's just got a lip that sits in there, one-handed. That one is easy enough to sit in there, so it does go that way up, sits in there nice and easy. Squash that in. Unfold that out. I have a feeling it goes the other way around. Definitely goes the other way around, my bad. There we go. I'll clean them up, give them a wipe down. They just sit down. Like that. It's going to have heaps less movement. They were flogged out and moved heaps before, so get them all nice and central. All my tools are all at work at the moment, so I'm making my life 10 times harder than it needs to be by using tools that are definitely not meant for the job. So again, look how crusty that is. Good to go. Can't believe I'm using a shifting spanner for this. Breaks my heart. Heaps better. Got just enough movement, but you can feel it's got tension on it as well, so that's heaps better. I reckon we are about done for this episode, guys. Thank you so much for sticking around and watching it, and I apologize ahead of time that we haven't been uploading as much as we want. Just been so busy with everything at the moment. I've hurt my elbow and my arm, unfortunately. We've been flat out with work, which is really good, so I need to sort of give that as much time and effort as I can while that's doing really well to build on that, that success in that. We've got a ton of stuff still, obviously, over on the bench, as you know, still to go. So we've got plenty of things to do, guys. It's just finding the time to do the videos, finding the time to do it with Ollie as well. But make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, guys. It makes a massive difference. If there's anything that you've seen in the video that you want to give us a shout out for, or let us know, or give us some info or something we're doing in the future, please feel free to shout out. Make a comment below. We'll always reply to all the comments as well. So yeah, next episode looks like we've got a fuel pump, we've got some sun visors, we've got that decap pipe to test as well. So we've got a few cool things going on the car, pretty excited. It is coming along. Hopefully I'm going to have some good news about the paint. I know I've been dragging it on for ages, but we should be good to go with paint very, very shortly, guys. All right, peace out. Thank you for watching. See you later.